Good morning, Chairman Gordon, Congressman Bilbray, and members of the committee. As mentioned, I am a Vice President with Exelon Nuclear. Exelon is the largest operator of nuclear plants in the United States. I'm here today in my role also as President of New Start Energy Development. The New Start Consortium is comprised of 10 power companies and 2 reactor vendors. The consortium was formed in 2004 based on a shared vision as well as a shared sense of responsibility. The shared vision was that the nuclear industry would be called upon at some point in the future to provide additional baseload capacity, and the shared responsibility is that it was our job to take actions in order to make us ready for that. The need for new nuclear plants arises from a platform of change that is brought about by both the electricity demand as well as mentioned the environmental awareness. You may know the EIA projects electricity demand to increase by 30% by the year 2030. With respect to environmental awareness, nuclear power accounts for 73% of the carbon-free generation. To put it in perspective also, the volume of greenhouse gas avoided by the production with nuclear power is approximately equal to 96% of the passenger cars that are on the road today. Mr. Chairman, I stress that the consideration of additional nuclear is not to the exclusion of any other baseload generation, in particular renewables, but rather it is our attempt to uphold the current 20% contribution that nuclear is making given the expected growth in demand. As the title of this hearing suggests, the opportunities for nuclear plants must be considered along with the challenges. My testimony outlines a number of challenges, but in response to your invitation letter, I would like to address a few of those, including licensing, cost, and also workforce development. Demonstrating the licensing process is one of the objectives of the New Start Consortium. To date, there have been 9 combined construction and operating license applications submitted to the NRC. 6 of these 9 were submitted by New Start members. New Start members plan to submit an additional 4 applications by the end of this calendar year. My observations to date of the licensing process is that it is going well. However, I caution that we are only a few months into a multi-year review. There are 2 aspects of the process, however, that I believe have yielded the success to date, but more importantly will continue in the ongoing success of the process. They are first, the commitment to design standardization for the new fleet of plants, and also the communication between the NRC staff and the industry. You may know one of the components of an application is the final safety analysis report. For the 2 selected technologies by New Start, those are the Westinghouse Advanced Passive 1000 reactor and the GE Hitachi Economic Simplified Boiling Water Reactor, the FSAR is approximately 75 to 80% identical for all applicants of that technology. And although the premise of plant standardization is operational, safety, and efficiency, it will greatly facilitate the NRC's design-centered review approach. And that is where the NRC needs to review an issue only one time. That yields, of course, the regulatory efficiency, and New Start remains the optimum forum for this industry coordination. The other cornerstone of the licensing process is the communication, as I mentioned. Over a year and a half ago, the NRC began to conduct public workshops wherein they conveyed their expectations with respect to content of applications. Also during this pre-submittal phase, there were numerous public visits by the NRC staff to the various sites and also public meetings, again, wherein we could get ongoing feedback regarding the development of our application. This continued throughout the sufficiency review, and we expect that it will continue through the intense safety environmental reviews. On the next challenge of cost, I offer you my utility perspective, and that is that any investment in a new plant will only be made if it's in the best interest to both our shareholders as well as our customers. We are not predisposed to nuclear generation. Whether it is a board of directors decision or that of a state public utility commission, a nuclear investment must be proven to be superior to the other energy alternatives. We are concerned not only with the initial cost of the plant, but the long-term stability of electricity rates over the life of the plant. Contrary to what you may hear from my fellow panelists, I believe government incentives are needed to address our energy investment crisis, and these incentives must equitably treat each component of the diverse portfolio. The third area of workforce development, while it is a challenge to new nuclear plants, it is a tremendous opportunity for students, workers, and businesses. The nuclear industry needs a wealth of engineering expertise and skilled labor to design, construct, and operate the next fleet of plants. The industry is taking aggressive action to develop its future workforce. Some of these actions include outreach efforts with professional societies, developing training programs and partnerships through high schools, union and apprenticeship programs, community colleges, and universities. Success in these areas is needed to not only staff the existing fleet, but also the fleets of the future. Lastly, I want to leave you with my outlook for the expansion of nuclear power. And again, speaking from my utility perspective, I would characterize it at this point as cautiously optimistic. A few years ago, the nuclear strategy was to keep the option open. But now, based on conservative and phased decision-making, we have seen the optimism grow, as evidenced by the number of utilities that have either submitted or declared their intent to submit a license application, the placement of orders for long lead equipment, and most recently, the actual signing of an engineering procurement and construction agreement. We thank Congress for its vision through the Energy Policy Act in establishing the framework through which we accomplished many of these milestones, and I thank the committee for the interest in the expansion of nuclear power and the opportunity to appear before you today. Thank you.
Thank you.